SEAL Team Season 7 is back for Episode 4, and while the hour is mostly just filler, some important things came out of the episode. The Paramount Plus military drama, created by Benjamin Cavell, follows David Boreanaz as Jason Hayes and his Bravo team, a subunit of an elite Navy SEALs unit, the United States Naval Special Warfare Development Group. SEAL Team Season 7 will consist of 10 episodes and serve as the Paramount Plus show's final outing as fans prepare to bid farewell to Jason, Ray, Sunny, Lisa, and the other characters. Ray's retirement is looming, which gives us a good idea of what a person in a healthy, loving relationship may find after 20 years of service. On the flip side, though, we have Jason, who shows the damage that can be done by serving your country. Ray has a supporting wife and a new business venture that ties him directly to the work he's done for decades. It gives him purpose. He sees light at the end of the tunnel. Jason has no such endeavor lined up. Although he could probably retire or is at least close to it, he hasn't shown any desire to let go. He's tied up in what was and sees how many lives it claimed. What's frightening about Jason is that he keeps everything buried deep inside. He's bottled himself up to the point that people are guessing his moves based on past behavior, and they're getting it wrong. His relationship with Mandy is a saving grace. Someone else may not be as forgiving of his faults, but he's hiding things from her too. You'd think that with as much as she has seen and suffered herself, he'd share more freely of himself. Not so much from what we have seen. On the one hand, the military that gave them life for decades is on the way out. It's under new management to deal with new enemies. The mission focus remains, but the reasoning behind the missions has changed. They're being asked to learn from the ground up, but produce the same results. It's not easy for those making the decisions, and it's even harder for those taking orders. Bravo escaped SEAL Team Season 6 with their jobs intact, but their pride was wounded as they were grounded and given menial shore duties. Being sidelined so soon after losing Clay wounded the team. So what does this mean for Bravo and specifically for Jason? After having their feet held to the fire for so long, finding their way back is tough. For the most part, they're making the best of it. Sunny took Clay's death hard, but he's turned that into something positive. Who would have guessed that Sunny would make such an effort to make Drew a part of the team? But if Sunny is bringing Drew into the fold, Jason is making excuses for him. Jason is in the middle of something significant, and flippant remarks like the one above don't help. SEAL Team had to bring in a replacement for Clay, but I get the feeling that Drew represents something larger in the scheme of things, as if he'll be instrumental in whatever it is that Jason needs to discover about himself to move on. That popped into my head when Drew astutely observed that Jason was spooked, and Sunny realized that Drew might have been the one to see it because he's gone through something similar. So, they're tied together in some way. Hopefully, it won't take the whole season to discover what it is. Jason Kanked never heard of that phrase before, but I liked it. Whether it's spelled right is another story. The mind up just before go time because it didn't feel right to him. Specifically, the potential loss of life was unacceptable. That's a valiant effort, but not if it puts your team at risk. Bravo scrambled to come up with something that made Jason comfortable with the op, but it started falling apart almost immediately. That it didn't tank isn't a testament to his leadership, but to the capabilities of his team, including Drew. Ultimately, Jason's concern for civilians could have been disastrous for his team, and it was under the guise of protecting the team that he called for change in the first place. That didn't escape Ray, and he called Jason out on it. But until Jason is willing to talk with someone about what's going on in his head, this will continue. Our happy ending for SEAL Team requires Jason to find peace with his existence, including all of the losses he's experienced over the years and the parts he's played in them. It also demands that Ray retires, switching his focus to helping other souls like Jason's, lost after years of death and destruction in his wake. I also wonder if Jason's newfound need to protect civilians is also due to Clay's death. Clay died as a civilian, after all, at the hands of another veteran. You just never know what will flip the switch. With all of this focus on Drew this season, it will be criminal if they don't bring in Kirk Acevedo to play a relative. It's like Bo Knapp went to Kirk Acevedo's school to play this role. Sunny's random conspiracy theories, including the flesh-eating coconut crabs that ate Amelia Hart, and that Stevie Wonder can see in addition to his hazing attempts, were bright spots in an otherwise dreary episode. It was a bummer to hear that Hannah is engaged and her fiance is close with Lean. I was kind of hoping that they might find their way back to each other. Sunny and Lisa, never going to happen. This is the first time I've noticed during an op that nothing looks foreign, not the street signs, the roads, or even the light switches in the factory. And would Myanmar workers really walk off the job if the payroll truck didn't show up? How'd they find a dive bar in Myanmar? Bravo always finds a dive bar that looks suspiciously like all the other dive bars they frequent.